Hello and welcome back to the channel for some last minute predictions for Chapter 5 of Doctor Who Flux, Survivors of the Flux. This week I've just ended up doing 2 videos previewing this story rather than 3 as in previous weeks. I haven't done a cast list video, A because I ran out of time a bit, and also because there are so many recurring characters in this story and so few new characters that I didn't really think it was worth doing that, and if any video was going to have to go, it was going to be that one. But with regards to Survivors of the Flux, obviously we've got our trailers and promo pics as usual. Lots of strands going on in this story. Again, as usual to be honest, as we've come to expect from Chibnall's Doctor Who. Where to start? I guess with our regulars, or at least the regulars that are still with us. So Yaz and Dan, and then Jericho as well, who's sort of joining them as their companion, I guess, in a manner of speaking. We do have that one shot of the Doctor as a weeping angel in the trailer near the start, and then nothing else of her, and she's not in any of the promo pics either, which has led some people to suggest that perhaps this could be a Doctor Light episode in which the Doctor either barely features or doesn't feature in at all. And yeah, I guess I could maybe see them doing that, but my gut feeling is no, she will be in it some way. You know, think back to things like Bill as a Cyberman in The Doctor Falls. Yes, you know, Bill was no longer with us, but they still found ways to work Pearl Mackie into the story and to give her stuff to do. And so I think in a similar vein, what we're going to see here with the Doctor is more sort of dreamscapey, matrixy sort of stuff. Maybe something set inside her mind, or, you know, some kind of dream sequence or vision or something where she encounters the Division or Time Lords or whatever. Something fairly abstract, I think it would be fair to say. And then we have Yaz and Dan and Jericho in the past. In 1904, I believe, because in one of the trailers, Dan says, you know, that we've been here in the past for 3 years, I think. So yeah, 1904, because they arrived there in 1901. And it's not quite clear what they've been up to in that time, and also what their sort of mission or quest is now. I mean, presumably something changes to sort of get them involved in things again, and maybe they find some lead, some way of getting back to the present, something along those lines. Because obviously they've been in the past already for 3 years, so something has got to change in 1904 to get them involved again. Something new has got to happen. Could that thing be linked to Joseph Williamson, or could that thing be Joseph Williamson, who seems to be anachronistically in this period as well, based on promo pics and trailer footage, which is all fine and good, but Joseph Williamson wasn't actually still alive by this point. He was a figure from the Victorian era, and the stuff we've seen so far of him in Flux is set in 1820, so a whole sort of 85 years before the events in this story. Then again, we have seen him in the Temple of Atropos. We've seen him wielding a Sontaran gun of some description, so there has been a sort of implication so far in previous chapters of Flux that Williamson perhaps has the ability to time travel or move about space and time in some way. I guess another possibility is that Yaz and Dan and Jericho travel back in time, those 80 or 85 years, to Joseph Williamson's own time. Perhaps they get sent back in time by a weeping angel, or perhaps there are some sort of time travel experiments going on in 1904 which they're able to take advantage of. It also begs the question as to what foe or foes they're going to be facing in the past. There's been some suggestion that when they're in this sort of temple, because they seem to go to some sort of temple, not quite clear where that is, if it's in the UK or somewhere further abroad, but there's a promo pic that shows John Bishop with some sort of spear or something in front of him, which looks like a booby trap of some sort. And there's also a shot in one of the trailers of something which appears to be dynamite or something similar, which is sort of sparking and about to explode, and that's in one of the rooms that Yaz and Dan and Jericho have been in. So who's on their trail and why? What foes are they going to face in the past? Could it be those mites seen in Once Upon a Time, the little clouds of blue tiny creatures that swarm about in little clouds? Could it be them trying to hunt them down for some reason, perhaps related to the Flux in some way? Then of course another strand of the story is going to be set in the present day, which is going to see Kate Stewart and Unit make a comeback, hopefully a very triumphant comeback after many years away from our screens. And the Grand Serpent also looks to be in this time period and sort of maybe having a bit of a showdown with Unit. There's a shot in the trailer of him with the TARDIS in the background, and that to me implies that, okay, perhaps either Unit has seized the TARDIS, having found it, you know, left there in Mediton either in 1967 or in the years since. and the Grand Serpent is sort of trying to bargain it off them, or maybe it's the other way around. Maybe the Grand Serpent has taken hold of the TARDIS and UNIT are trying to get it back from him. There is one shot from the full trailer for Flux that shows the Grand Serpent sort of looking over his shoulder with a house in the background that he appears to be approaching, and it's not been confirmed to be specifically from this episode as opposed to next week's, but I reckon it could be from this week's, and I reckon as well that perhaps that house could be a new unit base of some description, because there's also that shot obviously of a sort of general figure in a house which would seem to match that house based on the windows behind him. And it's fairly heavily implied now that general is part of UNIT. It was speculated at the time when that trailer came out, and that has now been sort of all but confirmed. Then in terms of other bits, we've got more of Bell, we've got more of Vinda, and Vinda seems to have sort of found wherever it is that Swarm and Azure have rocked up to sort of conduct the final part of their evil plan. And there's talk in the trailer from Swarm about the Time Force growing or something along those lines, so clearly, as ever, those two are up to no good. And Passenger is once again making an appearance alongside them, and I do believe as well that Nadia Albina is in the cast list for this story again as Diane Curtis, so presumably we're going to be seeing a bit more of her, again, maybe just a brief cameo or something like that. We have more Karvanista to look forward to after his absence last week and only a very brief appearance in Once Upon Time, and he says in the trailer that the Lupari shield that's been protecting Earth ever since episode 1 is now breachable. And there's a shot of the shield to match that, with one of the ships seemingly sort of flying away, which is presumably why the shield is now breachable, because one of the ships has left, because it's now a hole in that sort of formation of the ships. Could that be Karvanista's ship, which is flying away? Perhaps he's been forced to leave the shield for some reason, some even bigger emergency than the destruction of Earth, which he's sort of duty-bound to attend to. And then to round things off, we also have an Ood appearing in this story for some reason. It's completely unclear as to how the Ood fits into things. I mean, it has been suggested that because the sort of background behind him matches some of the background from behind Aswok in Once Upon Time, that perhaps those two characters are linked. Perhaps the Ood is a servant sort of working for her or something along those lines. I really have no clue, to be honest, and that goes for so many of the strands and so many of the elements sort of thrown together in this story. It looks, as ever, to be jam-packed. Not a clue what's going to happen, really, what's going to go on. It's sure to end on another big cliffhanger to propel us into the series finale. Our last cliffhanger of Flux, I guess, so it better be a good one. But yeah, what do you think of the promo pics and trailer footage and all the stuff we know about this story? What do you think is going to happen? What do you make of my predictions? Let me know all your thoughts and last-minute theories and bits and pieces in the comments section below. Please do also like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel if you're new for more Doctor Who Flux related content. And if you're watching this on the day it's released, then I will see you later today for my reaction to Survivors of the Flux. But until then, thank you so much for watching, enjoy the episode, and goodbye for now.